Even before he ascended to high office, David Cameron has always sought to keep us all in the dark as to the exact extent of his apparent drug use whilst a student, if it ever happened. For a former advisor to one-time Tory Home Secretary Michael Howard, whose own personal policy on drugs is well documented, this is perhaps a wise decision. According to the various potted biographies of David Cameron that litter the internet, the Prime Minister's former involvements with Mr Howard and his old department date from a time when some of the most draconian measures against recreational drug users in general were being put through Parliament, in particular the much hated 1994 Criminal Justice Act, which gave almost every conceivable arm of government, from councils to police and others, a wide range of powers to crack down on anyone even loosely connected with the organisation of unlicensed rave parties. Described in the pages of independent leftist political journal Red Pepper as the drawing of battle lines to protect the right of protest and to lead alternative lifestyles, the act was to have a devastating effect on a radical counterculture heavily rooted in widespread recreational drug use and was to effectively criminalise an entire generation of young people. In the film that now follows, we shall present evidence that during the crucial opening months of 1994, when the hated Criminal Justice Bill was being introduced onto the statute book by John Major's government, a group of key players on the underground illegal rave scene, with a direct link to David Cameron's inner family circle, were involved in the biggest LSD importation scam since the 1960s, a criminal conspiracy involving high society dealers, aristocrats and their hangers-on. Facts which may well be explanatory with regard to David Cameron's continuing evasiveness when it comes to questions about his previous drug taking and whether or not he did or didn't inhale. West London, autumn 1992, just a stone's throw from Ladbroke Grove in the heart of Portobello Road, an all-new dance music phenomenon which originated on the beaches of India's Goa State is introduced to the London club scene by Mark Maurice, a working-class lad from Leicester, for the very first time.
Essentially, I'd been travelling. I came back to England a year and a half ago and wanted to do something in London. I'd been in Goa for quite a few months, been to parties there, and wanted to bring this energy back to England, really, and try to translate that into a London club scene, which is quite difficult.
What were the difficulties that you had?
The energy there is to do with lots of people dancing on a beach where nobody has to go to work. They're travelling, completely cross-cultured. And to bring that into London, where, with the confines of a club where people have to work the next day, was quite difficult. Because you don't have... people are able to let go in a situation like that, but you know, in an everyday situation in London they aren't. The restrictions are still there. But essentially just to create an environment where people feel relaxed. They can dance, they can do whatever, but they feel relaxed, they feel open. you know, absolutely no pressures. And that's essentially what we've tried to create.
Why did you come here tonight?
Because I have many nice friends here, and yeah, it's a nice scene happening now. Yeah.
The essential concept behind what Mark was trying to do involved an attempt to break down the social barriers of class, culture, breeding and religion that divide our society as a whole through the medium of communal dancing. Interestingly enough, like India, where this pioneering dance sound was taken off the German dance floors where it had evolved out of Belgian New Beat and onto the Goan beaches where the ancient Hindu caste system still prevails, Britain is one of the most socially divided countries in the world. How do you envisage yourself building a form of counterculture sustainability into what you're actually doing?
Well, the music will always change. The essence of it, or the fad or the fashion will always change, but the essence of it is music, which is a universal language. And hopefully people will awaken from this narcotic stupor that they've been in for the last few years. I mean, drugs are a catalyst for it, but any society has always had the dance, and I think the dance, in a way, a certain, not organisational factor, but a certain unity has to come out of that. On a personal level, I'm more interested in the shamanistic thing than the actual parties.
So how do you feel when you dance?
Very good. I think it's probably the strongest deconditioning movement of modern history, when a whole generation has just been filled up with junk that it had to leak out, and that's why I think the whole acid movement in the form we know it today started. It's just nature's way of cleaning mankind, so to say. So that's why I think everybody feels so good when they dance, because you'll be able to toss out a lot of rubbish and just feel some kind of unconditional love among the people.
The fundamental difference between this new aspect of dance culture and the hardcore ecstasy-based rave scene that had preceded it was Mark's original idea to take the participants beyond drugs and onto a higher level of consciousness through the combined use of dance, music and rhythm in a similar way to that which is achieved by the prolonged practice of yoga or certain martial arts. This in itself was a totally new idea, never before expounded on a scene awash with every kind of narcotic substance imaginable.
The music that we play is termed or called trance music. The way it differs from house music is that the same with the shamanistic thing. The shaman would take a psychoactive drug, whether it be psilocybin or whatever indigenous drug was around in this particular area, and would lock into a trance. The same is true of this music. It's trance music, it's hypnotic. You don't just dance along with it, you lock into it, you completely, if you like, lose yourself or the ego dissipates, you lock into the music, you are a part of the music, you're conducting the music if you like. You're selfless. That I can see possibly could be quite frightening to a lot of people, to let go of the ego, even if it's for 5 hours, to not know what they're doing, to have faith in a rhythm, to just let go. It's no more abstract or strange than marching on an army parade ground. It's exactly the same thing. A soldier will march and march and march, and he'll feel extreme pain, and he'll go through that pain and keep on marching to the point where it becomes automatism. It's exactly the same principle. He will just go and go and go, and the march is inside him then. He's not marching any longer. You know, the two things are one. That is the way it differs from house music, which is more melodic, or techno music, which is more to do with noise as opposed to music. To become entranced by the music means a surrender, a certain surrender to it. You know, we surrender every day to advertising, we surrender every day to the colour of clothes that we wear, to the way we smile, think, breathe, to the pollution that's in the air. We surrender to that, so why not surrender to trance music?
So you think the music scene, the dance scene at the moment is necessary to the evolution of our generation?
Yeah, I think it's always been very important to dance and to express yourself, you know. And now it's not just dancing, it's really that expressing. It's not to have, you know, it's more just catharsis, get it all out. Because there's nothing left to do anymore apart from the real thing, so to say. We tried all the other ways. We had masks on our faces and clinging on to different things. All this is, we're tired of it. We just want to relax and enjoy this planet, I think.
How were you affected from, say, an ideological point of view by your experiences travelling abroad, in Goa, for example?
For the first time in my life, my barriers completely came down.
So what do you like about this place?
Because no matter who you are, what you do, you can all join in and have some fun, basically, regardless.
These ideas of using dance as a tool to simultaneously transcend the class and other restrictions that have been imposed on us by the powers that be for hundreds of years, combined with an attempt to go beyond the ultimate limitations of artificially stimulated levels of higher consciousness, as manifest through the medium of mind-altering drugs, were the two basic ideologies that were to put Mark in a field of his own on the scene in which he was operating, and were to get him into trouble with authority.
What's your name?
Louisa.
And what are you doing here tonight?
Having a good time, really. Catching up with friends and seeing everyone.
Have you been coming here often?
No, I haven't actually. I've been away, but this is the second time I've been, and it's good. I really enjoy it.
The club, hopefully, is a cross-section. In fact, it is a very big cross-section of society, from, you know, the unemployed to the sons of judges, barristers, etc. To me, there is no point in just doing a club. That magic that's created on a dance floor, that unity when people do let go and they do gel together, has to go back out into the street, and that has to go out in daytime, not in a nocturnal sense, which is what a club is. It has to go back out into the populace. I almost believe that when this energy is created, people are suddenly very open to anything. I mean, evolution, if that's what you want to call it, they are going up a rung. But it has to go out. It can't, it becomes stagnant if it just remains in a club. I don't personally believe that people can dance together for hours and hours and not be affected, and not drop the social barriers or the class restrictions that have been imposed on them through indoctrination. But how to retain that is the difficult thing. I think if there's a consistency and it keeps on going and going and going, and people realise they are playing like children and dancing with people from every background, then hopefully that won't become indoctrinated, will become a part of their character, and they'll spread that to their friends and on and on and on, you know, like a butterfly effect.